My God, how many final games can one person have? I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of the English language, but maybe it's me. Maybe I misunderstood the definition of the word final. So I pull out the dictionary, not the woke dictionary, which conveniently recreates the definition of words to fit their own narrative. I pull out the actual dictionary to get a clear understanding, a clear definition of the word final. When used as a noun, the word final means the last game in a competition. When used as an adjective, it means coming at the end of a series. Either way, final means last, the end. So it's not me that's misunderstanding the use of the word here. Once again, deacons at Woke United Methodist, they have redefined the language to fit their own narrative. How many final games is Megan Rapinoe going to have? What is this, her third final game? I looked at the schedule for the NWSL, the barely professional soccer league here in America that absolutely no one pays attention to. Last night was not the final game for the prepubescent boy. All week this week, the mainstream media has once again hyped up the final game for Megan Rapinoe, but she still has one game left on the schedule. But KC, last night was her final game at home. It was a celebration in Seattle. There were rainbows, there were woke weenas, there were dudes wearing pink wigs identifying as Tina. Oh, yeah, it was a celebration last night. Even the quasi-woke Fox News decided to celebrate. Headline at Fox News: Megan Rapinoe final regular season home game before her next final game ahead of the next final game draws record-breaking crowd. Record-breaking crowd? Really? The prepubescent wonder, which, by the way, I'm going to have to find a new description. I saw them extra last night. She no longer has that youthful appearance. I'm going to do her a favor. I'm going to link her up with Joy Behar's plastic surgeon. That man works miracles. So don't worry, Meg. Dr. Proctor, he will have you looking like a teenager in no time. Anyway, let's get back to this record-breaking crowd. I see headlines like that, I'm expecting to see a huge number. Now, I don't know who holds the record for the largest crowd in America. I would imagine it's WWE or maybe one of those college football teams that draw six-figure crowds to their home games. Well, they used to hold the record, right? I mean, now that record belongs to the Mexter, right? When media claims that Meg drew a record-breaking crowd, they're talking about a record crowd in the NWSL. Big fucking deal. A record crowd in the NWSL, it would be 24. It's the equivalent of drawing a record crowd to the Butt Bongo tournament at Club Shay Shay. It's not impressive to break the record when the previous record was in the triple digits. Average attendance at NWSL games this season is around 9,700 a game. Throughout her career, Meg has participated in OMO soccer for something called the OL Reign in Seattle. Their attendance average this season was 8,169, 16% below league average. Well, that doesn't make sense. I thought Megan Rapinoe was a big star. I thought she was the icon, the man. I thought Megan Rapinoe was a transcendent star, the biggest draw in soccer here in America. Lumen Field in Seattle, it has the capacity to hold almost 70,000 people. And you mean to tell me what you're calling the biggest star in sports can only draw 8,100? Well, KC, they limit capacity to 10,000 for soccer games. I think they do that for safety reasons. Yeah, sure. This is another classic illusion. They limit capacity so attendance numbers look better on paper. It looks a whole lot better when you're claiming the stadium was filled to 81% capacity instead of 12% capacity. Last night, they decided to open up the entirety of Lumen Field in Seattle. Everyone was invited to worship at the hairy feet of Megan Rapinoe. There was a record-breaking crowd of 34,000 identifiers there to celebrate the career of the Megster. Now, the media is calling this record-breaking. I call it 50% capacity. The Seahawks, they play at Lumen Field. They pack the stadium to the rafters. Final home game of Megan Rapinoe, they are bragging about finally being able to fill the front row. There was one person last night who was a bit bitter. There was one person last night who had a scowl on her face. And no, it wasn't Megan Rapinoe during the playing of the national anthem. It was Laura Harvey. Well, KC, who in the hell's Laura Harvey? Is she married to Steve? Laura Harvey is the manager of this dump. She was very, very upset last night. She told the media after the game, "It frustrates the hell out of me that it took Megan retiring to draw 34,000 people. She's been playing here over 10 years. Where in the hell were you people? Why didn't you support the Megster throughout her career?" Well, Larry, the answer is rather simple. I'll break it down so everyone will be able to understand. The truth is, no one gives a fuck about Megan Rapinoe. People in Seattle, they don't care about the Megster. If they did, this dump would be filled to capacity every night. For some reason, CBS, they decided to broadcast this game nationally last night. Now, I don't know why. The only reason I can think of, CBS, I guess they wanted to finish dead last in the ratings. Before the game, they aired a special tribute to Megan Rapinoe. They put together this video compilation of all these unknown people to worship and sing praises to the lover of birds. The main bird, the Sioux bird, she was there in attendance, tears flowing off her beak. Now, Meg, she tried to hold back the tears to keep up her masculine image. But I pulled some of the best worshipers to share with you guys. Watch it for yourself.
Unafraid, unapologetic, a footballer who transcended our soccer bubble, made their mark on society itself, the human embodiment, and one of the greatest qualities, courage.
Megan, congratulations on a tremendous career. You bring people together and you unite our nation through the power of sports.
I want to congratulate my girl Megan on all of her success. President Biden said, you know what, in 2022, he gave you the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award. Wow.
Vomit. That was nothing but propaganda. Did you notice that one dude, Douglas Emhoff, Doug? I didn't know who Doug was. I had to look him up. First of all, he obviously has not followed the career of Megan Rapinoe. If he had followed her career, he would have known the last thing that she wanted to see in her video tribute was the American flag. My inside sources tell me the Megster, she fell into convulsions when they showed Doug and the American flag on the video screen. Another reason I know the Duggar hasn't followed the career of Megan Rapinoe, this dude went on national television and claimed, "You have united our country." Do I need to pull out the dictionary again? Has there been a new definition created for unity? Last I checked, Megan Rapinoe has been the most divisive athlete in this country. I looked up this dude named Doug. Initially, I was thinking that he was the star of Doug, the old cartoon on Nickelodeon back in the 90s. But imagine my surprise. Imagine my surprise when I find out that the Duggar was married to the pretend vice president, Cam Harris. No wonder his speech was filled with shit. I see that Magic Johnson really took the time to prepare his remarks for Megan Rapinoe. He was the only one where they had to edit the clip because Magic Johnson ran out of things to say after 5 seconds. But just like he did throughout his NBA career, Magic Johnson, he came up with a nice rebound. Johnny B. Biden gave you the Courage Award. What the hell was so courageous about Megan Rapinoe? Let's just take a second to review here, because Magic Johnson, he was not the only person to say this last night. NWSL Commissioner Jessica Berman, she said, Meg has embodied the courage and bravery that no other athlete in history has. Oh, really? Well, I can think of one, and just to be clear, I'm going to use the definition of courage from the woke dictionary for this example. Us normal people, we don't consider this doofus to be courageous. I'm talking about Colleen Kaepernick, formerly known as Colin. Colleen was the first athlete to kneel for the national anthem. Now, there were other NFL players that followed his lead. Once Megan Rapinoe saw Colin Kaepernick receiving universal praise throughout the mainstream media, she decided to steal his idea and use it herself. That's not courage, that's plagiarism. No wonder the Megster can relate to Johnny B. Biden. They have something in common. They like to take other people's work and claim it as their own. The truth is, Megan Rapinoe has made women's sports worse. Matter of fact, I'll take it a step further. Megan Rapinoe is destroying women's sports. Just think about this. Name one sports league, one women's sports league that's better off with the influence of Megan Rapinoe. We have dudes competing as women. Well, Casey, that's not her fault. She damn sure played a large part in it. I'm not the one claiming that the Megster is influential, the mainstream media is. Several months ago, Megan Rapinoe was inviting men to join the U.S. women's soccer team. She conveniently extended that invitation after she announced her retirement. Even though she doesn't work in the WNBA dump, she's definitely had influence over the dump divers. WNBA players, they weren't kneeling for the national anthem until Megan Rapinoe. The dump is in far worse shape today than it was 15 or 20 years ago. And that's with the massive boost in media coverage. There is more mainstream media coverage of the WNBA today than at any point in their 27-year history. And the WNBA has never been more irrelevant. Women's soccer has been destroyed. The women no longer have to earn their money, which completely deprives their drive and ambition to succeed. Why would they bust their ass when they know that they're going to get paid either way? As long as the men are generating revenue, the women, they're going to receive half. If I was a male soccer player, I'd quit. Why should I dedicate my time and efforts only to be forced to give half of my salary to people who didn't earn it? Megan Rapinoe is the most dangerous, divisive athlete that America has ever seen. And don't think the divisiveness is going to end just because she's retiring. Last night, she told the Seattle Times, "This is only the beginning." What does that mean? I guess we'll find out. Wouldn't surprise me if Megan Rapinoe launches a career in politics. Now, it wouldn't be at the national level, at least not at first. I think she's going to start locally in Seattle, where she would probably win. One of the most beautiful cities in America. Seattle has so much potential, great weather, beautiful scenery, and it's been cursed with this fucking plague. But give me your thoughts. Media celebrates Megan Rapinoe in this supposedly record-breaking crowd in Seattle that filled the stadium to 50% capacity. Translation, the mainstream media, they are once again celebrating huge embarrassing failure. What do you think Megan Rapinoe is going to do next? Do you think she has political aspirations? You let me know. Sound off in the comments below. Like, subscribe, share the video. I appreciate you guys and your support. Best way to contact me is by email at btlkc84@gmail.com, KC_BTL84 on Twitter. I'll see you guys tomorrow.